Now, the number one story of the week, the Government Accountability Office recommends that the Department of Homeland Security rework its security protocols following the January 6th attack on the Capitol. DHS has specific protocols to respond to special events that require increased security. Triana McNeil is Director of Homeland Security and Justice Issues at GAO. Triana, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Mimi.
What were the report's main findings?
So we had two findings and two related recommendations. First, there were three key events that happened on January 6th, and none of them were deemed a national special security event. And so we have a recommendation for DHS to increase factors that it uses to make these designations. And what we're wanting them to do is add context and current threat environment to its list of factors as it makes those decisions. And the second finding is related to the confusion over who can request a special security designation in the District of Columbia on federal property. We started this review in February, and until today, there's still a lot of confusion from federal partners as well as local entities about who can request that designation. So our recommendation is simply for DHS to clarify its policy and to communicate that information on its public-facing website, for example, just to make it clear to its partners who has the responsibility and authority to make such a request.
Before we get too far into actual recommendations, I want to ask you about time frame, because I want to understand how long do these designations typically take when the process works?
So according to DHS, they need quite a bit of lead time to consider the different factors, make the designation, develop a security plan, and put that plan in place and marshal all the necessary resources. However, in 2015, the Pope came to visit and had changed the itinerary for its travels in the U.S. at the last minute. And DHS was able to be dynamic and make certain changes to make sure there was enhanced security for those additional stops for the Pope. So we know they can be nimble.
Well, let's go back to your recommendations and talk about how DHS can really clarify that guidance that's needed to prepare and coordinate, because that was also a big issue, for potential future events like that January 6th attack.
Sure. So the policy that it uses to make determinations if an event should be an NSSE, which is a National Special Security Event, those factors need to be updated. I think that's very simple. That's easy to do. That's just an internal document. The other recommendation related to updating the guidance on who can make a request to start this process, that also is an easy fix. All you need to do is make those updates to the policy.
Has DHS made a response to your report and your recommendations?
They have. They do not agree with our recommendations, which we found somewhat disturbing because they are really easy lifts for them to update the guidance, push that out, and update the factors used to make the determinations about these events. I think the biggest challenge for DHS and others are to see things that used to be routine, normal business, like the certification of a presidential election. That may not be routine business anymore. And so they need to see these things as potentially they need to get pre-designated as NSSEs to even prevent any of this waiting for someone to request. They can get a jump on that and start planning and making those security enhancements.
And Triana, are you going to be following up with this, or is there other things that you're going to be looking at on this subject?
Yes, this is the first of multiple products that GAO will be issuing in the coming months. My portfolio covers intelligence sharing, and so I will have a couple of more products focused on the use of social media and the use of intelligence by partners and the sharing of that information. There's another product that will be focused on how they use the intelligence to make security enhancements on the Capitol complex. And then the last product that we will issue is based on the Capitol Police and their use of force.
Terrific. Triana, thanks so much for coming on the show. This is definitely a subject we would like to follow up with you and with Homeland Security about. Thanks again.
Happy to be here. Thank you.